neglect that he tastes a little wing or chicken wing or something, or a little small piece of a quarter inch of quarter inch of a chicken nugget. It's not called gazela. It's a shiloh because he's working for you already. Is in already your category of working for you, and he has to go in and put stuff in your store and do extra work and do everything for you to do extra thing. He doesn't get paid extra for that work, that extra delivery that he's going in that store and doing such a special delivery, like bringing it into the store, in the middle of the store, opening the store, locking the store, check and making sure it's neat and everything. Doing a very good job. So it's a shiloh that it's not called gazela for the work for worker that yid only applies to a yid, because if it would be a goy, it would be a shiloh of the bus of nifkish ayin, and be a shiloh of possibly allowing a goy to enter a store in the middle of the night because there was no mashkiach. A guy is not allowed to take it because, first of all, a guy doesn't have the shy of inyan l'shach shabbat because their inyan is negei zimmer sus, which zimmer sus basically has a din of basically a chazer. So if you're gonna basically give them the het of l'shach shabbat, they're gonna eat like chazerim. So the lacha doesn't apply. Like they're gonna take for their families, they're gonna take for everything. But Yid basically has lacha midas of the l'shach shabbat. Basically, that he could basically just taste. But if this Yid is chas shalom and chaz, he's going to take the middle of the night for his family and everything else also, isn't that? Then he's a ganef. But he's just tasting. It's leisach shabbat, and he has permitted to do that al pi halacha. Al pi halacha is permitted to do that. And if it's in a catering place, it's even mutter because then it's just leftover. It's not even put out to sale. It's not even making money. It's not causing chasar and kiss even no silo chasar and kiss even. Which with the caterer is not losing any money because he's just giving out the leftovers probably to the school or something like that, and or else if it's wrapped up or something like that, showing that he's put it away specially for something, then he's not allowed to touch it. But let's say he's going to a catering place and opening up the fridge, and he has to bring in a whole pallet of chicken. He has to move 50 racks, and there's some open food there, some little frankfurters, some small pieces of cutlets, some potatoes. He's allowed to taste it. Because he's working anyway, he's doing extra work for that customer, and he's under the halal of the income of that customer on that doing work for him now. So he's mutter to taste, not to take extra chas v'shalom for his family, things like that, because that's geneva. But to taste, his mutter is halacha of negeya yid, Yiddish worker, that's shach shabbat, he's permitted to taste a little, and the owner is not having any grudge against it, chas v'shalom, because then you'd be oivel l'sach shabbat. As a loch and a Yiddish worker, a Goyish worker doesn't have the inyan of l'sach shabbat. They have an inyan of hilchos poil, which is basically which the balabas is mechayiv to give them breakfast, lunch, and supper if they work through the 24-hour shift. And during the shift, you have to give them lunch according to it, because it's all bought on Gemara and Bobatzia and a Seicher, a Poil, or something like that, somewhere around there. And it's all bought on Seicher skiers. Bekitz Lamaisa, so that's permitted. But otherwise, for a guy to go in there and copy him and start eating also is also because first of all he's not permitted. He's first of all a guy even to take a little piece. It's an gzela. So that's why they don't know these halachas. And what happens is they watch tzaddikim go and make deliveries in the middle of the night to the Mexican mob and all that. Because people are seicher, these Mexican mobs, to be judged the town and to judge all these mobs to watch these towns. But they don't know these, and they get halacha, they get inyanim for the Yiddish halachas. So by them it looks like it's geneva. So they permit everybody else to steal because a tzaddik goes and takes something, a righteous person goes and takes something which will be halacha, he's allowed to. But they don't know it's not allowed to. But since they stay watching in the middle of the night through their satellite and things like that, they say, oh, he's a crook, he's a thief, he's permitted. But it's permitted to do that also, for us to do that. For them it's not permitted. But for him it is, because he's considered as a worker. And the worker is permitted to eat from food if it's a Yiddish worker. Because it's l'sach shabbat, but the guy doesn't have this halacha. Anyways, but they don't know that. But they think, since that is so, they are allowed to permit them. So it's like monkey see, monkey do. Like I once was driving a bus, and people were always copying me for everything I was doing. So I said on the line, a real bee makes honey, a fake bee copies a real bee, like a monkey. And guess what? Every single Schwarzer driver got on the mic, say, hey, watch what you say, watch what you say. You have to hear how the mic sounded like. It sounded like 15 Schwarzers screaming, hold the door open, hold the door open. That's all you heard. Well, anyways, that's what it is. They don't know the halacha, so they think they're permitted. But the Maisa is, he's not doing a geneva because he is permitted, his halacha, his law permits him to do that. His law permits him to taste, and sometimes gives him a little extra energy. He's delivering 21 cases of 14 cases or 16 cases of chicken or eggs, and then he comes in the middle of the night and close the door and everything takes care, move things out of the way. Sometimes a little bite would help him also to give him some little energy so he's actually doing work for that balabas, that store owner. So he's permitted. He's not stealing. Now what happens is, since these Mexican mobs watch people, and they think it's permitted, so they permit themselves everything in Geneva. They don't know these are laws. They don't have any Torah. They don't have any halachas. So they think it's permitted. But they don't understand certain things are permitted and certain things are not permitted. So what happens is the Sada goes, and now he goes to a catering place. And he opens up the fridge and he starts pulling out rack by rack to make room for the palace. And as he's pulling out rack, he's tasting a little, hot dog, things like that. Like this small little thing that tastes time. This is the So these Mexican or construction workers around there, they start grabbing stuff in the racks also. They think they're permitted. They're not permitted. But he's opening the fridge just to take out racks to put stuff in the fridge, and they're just helping themselves. Meanwhile, for them it's Gedeva, for him it's not. Anyways, for him it's not stealing, for them it is stealing. Anyways, so what happened, there was a few incidents here in this work, where I work, not saying which place. One worker came in, and he had his Mexican mob watch, decided to go and buy stuff for the place, and he went and he emptied out the rest of the shelf of what was there, because he figured, he's buying anyways more, so it doesn't cost him any chasar. Kids didn't think it's Geneva, because if it's, in a way they mounted themselves Geneva, because if the guy has extra, you're allowed to take. That's the way the Mexican mob works. And they permit other workers also to do that in other stores. Like, let's say Mashkiach goes to table glasses in the catering place. And they say, oh, the rabbi's bringing more glasses. Go take some more glasses to your house. They tell another worker at the worker there. The Mexican worker takes some glasses to your house. And what's it going to do that? And they do the same things with greatest in people's houses, They watch with their satellites into people's houses. And they say, oh, this guy has this amount of money, extra, and he doesn't need that much. He's going to need some. So tell the guy to go take some from here, take some clothing here, because he has extra clothing. Or actually, they have a nice clothes on their children. So they want their children to look so nice as the Yiddish kids. So they go steal the children's clothing. And especially if they were nishul to the Ayin Hara, that child should do a certain aveira of that clothes. So they watch that with their mob to say, oh, he did this and this aveira of this clothes, so now let me see your son do this aveira of this clothes. Take this aveira, take this cloth from this person, take this nice pants, because this yid was milchshol on this pants. Take this yid's pants and go and still take it for your child also. They tell this guy in the house. And then another situation also, where people take goitas in the house, and they, it's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing to take goitas in the house, because first of all, it's brought down in Gemara Kesubas that a person can have 4 maids, and he still has to have his wife do something, so she shouldn't come to heilelis and laziness, which brings to aveira, that brings to hira. So now what happens is, a lot of houses, these ladies have their goitas, and their husbands are at work, so they figure, I could lie in the lay on the goita. I'm going to go out to Four Corners, dress my nicest clothing, or go out to so-and-so, this restaurant, meet the cookie lunch out, or whatever it is, meet by nice clothes and being dressed nice between men, which is usher also, which is usher for a bas Yisrael to go, but dressed nice between men to attract other people's husbands to their looks. So while they're creating that hirah, they're going in the house. They don't know what they're doing. She might be calling her boyfriend, saying, bring me some lunch, bring me some treifas. My boss is not home. You're watching her anyway. She's busy now and lunch and that. They have her tracked on her cell phone. They have her they're watching her in luncheonette and this and that. And she's not going to be there for a long time. So what happens is the boyfriend comes inside and says, oh yeah, you know what? Let's take this nice clothes also for us also. Then sometimes they bring in some tray for food and she warms it up in your microwave. You don't know, even though you have cameras, but your cameras, you don't ever check your cameras here and there and time to time. And sometimes she gives she's babysitting your little baby and something like that. She brings in her own baby and she feeds some tray for food to your baby also. And this and that, she thinks it's mutter. She doesn't know. It's her kindness. She wants to feed your child also, but she's giving a tray for something. What do you know? You have a tray for kitchen, you have a tray for kids growing up with bad das because they eat tray when they're children. And, because you have a goit in the house, you rely on the goita. So, but that's the problem with Yiddish kinder, Yiddishkeit in this Yiddish generation. People are so aggravated to be lazy and to lie everything on other people's help. So Adam, person, the musar from bring down Loilam Yasa Adam Dovash Zor Avodah Shazor Loiv Alt Stachel Brias. You shouldn't come to Goyish